Yes, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Veterans Minimum. I'm your host, Nick Deis at the Lame Shows, where you can find me, Alan, in the building. Congrats, Croatia made it through. My prediction was wrong.
Today's a good day.
Today is a good day. They got Spain.
Yesterday was a really good day. But today's also a good day.
Yeah. I was toggling back and forth on the games, and I just saw you put in all caps Vlasic. And I'm like, all right, Croatia scored.
Yep, I've been hyping up for like 3 years because he's been very consistent from qualifiers to Nations League. So I'm glad he delivered on a big stage. And Luka Modric, 35 years old. People thought he was aging. He still got it. And then Perisic, as usual, big game. Yeah, it was very satisfying. Just because there was a lot of stress going to it. Scotland had big time momentum. They had a home advantage, even though COVID affected them a little bit, and it was just it was like a negative vibe around Croatia. But their big game players stepped up, and thankfully the last part of the golden generation will not be going out sad. Now they get to set up with a phenomenal match against Spain. Their consecutive Euros would get Spain, Croatia, the first time in the knockout stage though, so the stakes are even higher.
Modric going up against, I can't even say Real Madrid players.
Hey, but Modric, because you saw him out on the field today, was Busquets. So Modric, Busquets have been going at it for like 8 years now. So that should be fun.
Yeah, so the stage is set now, the last 16. I have some questions I want to ask, and I'll give answers to as well. Thoughts on the biggest letdown in the group stages? What team disappointed you? Or even a team that advanced that disappointed you? Because for me, it's England, bro. Like,
You're so off.
I don't see it.
No team has scored fewer goals as a group winner than England. They only scored 2 goals. Both Raheem Sterling.
Yeah. And, dude, Sancho, I saw a stat that said he has the most goals and assists in
Europe top 5 leagues
in
or
the top 5
Yeah.
leagues, and dude can't even doesn't even get dressed. I think as I was watching them, and obviously because of the guys that got COVID, Mount,
Chilwell,
and then Billy Gilmore
on Scotland, that was just a big loss.
and I kind of shouted him out on the previous show. I was like, they got this young kid, 19 years old, plays for Chelsea, and he won man of the match against England from the Scottish side. And, he gets COVID, and then those guys sit out. I still feel like England doesn't know who their best 11 is.
And now it's concerning because it doesn't look like Mason Mount will play in the first knockout stage game, which is against Germany. And Mason Mount's like a regular in that starting 11. He will always get in. Chilwell is a backup. But the fact that they don't know what they're going to do with Mount, I think Grealish will start there. But it's like England's accustomed to playing 4-3-3. Now they're trying to play a 4-2-3-1 where Grealish is number 10. I'm not sure if it's necessarily fitting in. I think it's got to be really concerning that Harry Kane just he hasn't even looked close to scoring. Like, he had one chance, but even then it was just like it was pretty well saved. He just does not look threatening. So you saw all the hype with England, all their attacking talent. It's just 2 goals in 3 games in a group group's competitive, but you still expect a lot more.
Yeah. Harry Kane doesn't do it for me at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a take.
Yeah. I like forwards like Lukaku, forwards like
that imposes their will.
Yeah, man, that could break you down physically. The run-ons onto the ball. Like, I know Mbappe doesn't play forward for France. He's like that outside winger kind of. Yeah. But I like forwards like that. Harry Kane, he reminds me a lot of Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Whoa.
Just kind of cleans up in the box, no?
I think he's a little more technically better than Van Nistelrooy. Because Kane could legit dribble. Like, he could actually be a number 10 if he wanted to. Because he does create chances. But I don't think he, like, in the air. Like, I think Van Nistelrooy was a much more like a physical presence compared to Kane. But I don't know if Kane's just so burnt down because he never misses time. Like, he
looks slow, man.
Yeah, because all those years at Tottenham, they never really had a true backup striker, and he'd be playing Europa League games. Like, he just never misses time. And the only time he misses is when he gets injured, which tends to be every year. So, yeah, he does look a little worn. I think until I don't know when it will be, but like I feel like they're just the Premier League in general. They have too many games, and then these players break down. You see it a lot. Like, they have an extra cup tournament. They constantly got these like preseason packages. Like it's just I feel like a lot of their English players are overworked, and maybe this leads to exhaustion. I'm not trying to make excuses for them because they have been underwhelming, but it's just I think there's got to be a better way. And even though this is now a 26 man squad, which was part of the I guess what benefited these teams at Euros just because of the longer season and COVID, the bigger squad. But I don't think Southgate's really used the squad. You know, we mentioned Sancho before, but. You know, at least we'll see, like, Jordan Henderson's back now, so maybe he could be a decent presence. Harry Maguire. So they're getting some guys healthy back, but it's just the fact that they don't really have a set 11 going into a knockout stage, even though they're in a favorable bracket, it's still pretty concerning.
Yeah, so their side of the bracket, though, you know, I don't know what to make of Germany because they look like world beaters against Portugal, and then they lose to Hungary.
Well, draw Hungary.
Yeah. Because they were trailing twice.
Yeah.
1-0, then Germany ties it, and then almost immediately Hungary. Yo, Hungary was pretty impressive, man.
Oh, I wish they were in another group because they just, like we talked about before, they're very intense. And they don't have many big names, but they get in your face, and they will press you, and cruises them. And they're also very well organized.
Yeah.
Besides the Portugal game, they never really crumbled. They were very compact, and they made life difficult, which I thought was an incredibly hard group, as we all know.
I kind of beat you to it, but who was the biggest letdown in the group stages for you? Because I'm going with England. They just for
a good team that won the group.
Yeah, a team that won the group, but they didn't impose their will on anybody. It was very lackluster. I expect maybe because I always talk about like your expectations, and then you know if you lower your expectations, you're coming into this tournament. You have all 3 games in London. You have this generational offensive talent at your disposal. You're the tournament favorite.
Right.
You have a chance now with them winning the group. If they make it to the final, they're playing 6 of the 7 games at Wembley. So they're not really traveling unless even this game in the round of 16 against Germany is going to be in London. The quarterfinals would be somewhere else.
Okay. Wow. That's such an advantage.
Because then semis and the final is in Wembley. Right. So maybe because my expectations were so high for them, I'm disappointed. But they just...
I think the public's expectations, because people are talking about England, 3rd favorites going to tournament. I didn't see it. I thought they're more like a top 5. But if you look at disappointment, like it's crazy how Croatia and Spain have completely swayed. No, they're playing each other, but their performance in their final respective games, you definitely can't put them in now. I guess because I hadn't won the cores, I guess I could go Turkey. I really thought Turkey was going to do something.
A lot of people were high on Turkey. I mean,
because if Turkey, they were going to play the second place of B, like Wales, Denmark. If Turkey, and I just thought, okay, kind of bodes well. And I just thought a lot of their players, best players, are coming off their best club season. So I thought it all aligned. But we're talking about 1 goal, 8 goals allowed. It's just what a complete nightmare for them. And coming off past 2 years, they've beaten France, they've beaten Netherlands, but they just look completely disorganized. So, yeah, if I have to go with one, I'm just going to go with Turkey. But, Spain, Croatia, thankfully they delivered because I thought those were 2 prime candidates just based on the first 2 games.
Biggest surprise of the group stages? Sweden winning the group?
That's a good one. I'm still shocked how dominant Italy's looked, but I feel like that's kind of it. They've just looked completely dominant. That's what kind of
maybe it ties into what I was just talking about with England, where your expectations for
Italy
were kind of low, and now they surpassed it.
Because to me, no team has come close to Italy when it comes to the group stage. I think they've looked the most complete. I know Belgium and Netherlands have 9 points, but both of them have had their moments of looking shaky. I just think Italy has really not played a stretch where I was a little questioning them. For me, they've looked in complete control, 270 minutes. So, I'm going to go with Italy. I think the biggest surprise. It's just the fact of how they're playing, this free-flowing, very ultra-aggressive, not relying on set pieces and defending. It's just they're just playing free-flowing stuff. You got to love it.
This isn't the surprise for this one for me. And why I'm going to say France is not because they didn't make. Obviously, they made it through and
they won the group.
They won the group.
Bit underwhelming,
but it seems like their offense, with all that talent that they have, is kind of just like packing in defensively and Pogba long balls for Mbappe to run behind. Because the only time that like France has caused chaos is Mbappe on those runs. Earned the penalty kick today against your boy Semedo. You were talking about? You called it out, man. You said, "Oh my God, Mbappe running on him." He was
been a
just,
while. I told you, man. He's a liability. But if you look at the Hungary game, Lloris, even the goalkeeper, sent over a top, and Hungary's two center backs got discombobulated, and then it led to Griezmann scoring. So when you have a cheat code like Mbappe, send the ball over, especially a skillful midfield like France. But I think some things haven't gone to plan. Like Pavard's been kind of a liability. He didn't start. Now they're playing like a center back at right back, and I can't say his name. Konade, I think is say his name. But Pavard being disappointed. Rabiot hasn't really clicked. It's good to see Benzema at least backfiring.
Yeah, scored 2 goals, and
which
he
is
even
big.
had one disallowed against Germany.
Yeah.
So he should be up at 3. They let him take the penalty, which was something that I kind of had a feeling. I remember telling my pops because we were looking at Benzema was one of our favorite long shot picks. He was like 30 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you didn't know if he was going to start coming into it with Giroud over there too and what they were going to do with Mbappe. But when they had Benzema in, I had a feeling that they would, if they earned the penalty kick at some point, that they would let him take it.
Right.
And both he scored for France twice and Ronaldo scored twice for Portugal. Dude, VAR has been...
Had a strong start.
Yeah.
And then they did Dejan Lovren dirty in the Czech Republic.
Yo, so I have a problem with all sorts of replay across all sports. Dude, when you slow it down like to the very millisecond, obviously it's going to look like a handball,
Right. Or a vicious foul.
Or vicious foul, or the out of bounds on like the slight tip of your pinky. There was a play in the Clippers and Suns game where the ball went out, Booker's dribbling it with like 9 seconds left, and Pat Beverly slaps it out of his hand. But it clearly looked like it was out on the Clippers, and then on the replay, the ball doesn't even ricochet. It was so just tiny. Yeah. And then when you do the replay and like the defender just basic instinct kind of just turns away to protect his face, and the ball hits him in the hand, penalty kick. They're overturning everything with the VAR. There was a play in the Spain game with Slovakia where I didn't really think it was a penalty because the dude went to clear the ball.
Yeah, I hate those. And
Koke just puts his foot in there, and it's like, yo, the guy didn't even see Koke coming. There was Portugal won a penalty kick on like a handball too, where the defender kind of just looks away and like his hand is on his body.
They say unnatural, they'll say it, but it's just like.
And then you hear the people doing the commentary. There's like an old referee now.
Mark Clattenburg. Oh, he's the worst.
Oh my God.
Mark Clattenburg.
Who's the NFL ref that they have for replays?
Dean Blandino.
Well, Dean Blandino was
or Gene Sterator. Sterator. There you go.
Oh man, that guy.
Yeah. Mark Clattenburg will always make the game more about himself than I hate referees that try to impose themselves in a game where they have like these theatrical moments where it's like, oh, they gotta, whether they present a yellow card or any sort of instant, like they just gotta make themselves look so big, and it's you're a referee, the game's not about you, like just do your job. So yeah, he's annoying, but yeah, I thought VAR was gonna improve, but I thought the start of the tournament was working, but recently it's just, and I hate when it takes like 3-4 minutes. It's just on and on.
Well, also, what's one of the coolest things about soccer is it's hard to score. And when you do score, you have that authentic roar from the crowd. Yes. You have that reaction from the players. Now it's like, unless it's a shot from 30 yards out or a free kick. Now, if there's a ball played in, a long ball, you got to wait and see for VAR. Was the guy on sides?
Yeah. It happened to Morata against Poland. Poor Morata.
It happened in Benzema in that first game against Germany. Mbappe comes out off the side, plays the ball in. Benzema scores. There's a celebration. Oh, Benzema's first goal for France in 5 years. Before you know it, offsides.
It's just such a buzzkill. And it's really draining, too. It's just like,
It just sucks because now you can't even celebrate
unless it's a real decisive, clear goal.